Kat and Iniba, and thank you so much for tuning in to Halo Halo, your one stop for the latest in entertainment news, lifestyle features, and community events. Joining us today is filmmaker Anthony Bari Jr., who has a documentary documenting Yolanda victims of one of the biggest typhoons that hit land back in 2013. He went out to the Philippines to help the victims and ended up being compelled to create a documentary. He's here to tell us a little bit more. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I gotta see the film. I know you initially went to the Philippines to help out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more.
Well, I initially went there with a nonprofit organization that basically they went there to be a part of the relief effort.
Right.
And like the whole world went there.
Yeah.
It was like something I've never seen before. You know, you have people from Australia, you have people from Japan, Korea, you know, England, everyone all went there and kind of jumped in to help. You know.
How did you become a part of the relief effort, and how did they reach?
You know, I have relationships with a couple nonprofits, and this one nonprofit, they gave me a call on like a Sunday. They're like, "Hey, can you be there in 2 days?" And you know, and before you know it, we even went back and forth. I actually was going to go earlier than I did, but I had to they gave me a warning, and I tried to rearrange my schedule, and I ended up being on the second leg of the trip. So, I was lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah, was that your first time in the Philippines?
Actually, it's not.
No.
I went in 2009. I went to Palawan and
for
did
vacation.
For vacation, I got a lot of friends over there, and that's another reason why I really wanted to be a part of it, because I have a lot of friends over there, and really good people over there.
Now, take me back to when you first arrived there. What went through your mind when you saw everything?
I mean, it looked like, I don't think it was your typical disaster zone. I think, I mean, there were no like standing structures for miles. There was a lot of, you know, there was the smell of death in the air, a lot of corpses, like stuff that like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff you wouldn't really even see on TV, and like it had its own, it took on its own feeling, you know, like I don't think I've ever had that feeling before. Right. So, you know, to be there at that moment, it just kind of, you know, you really feel empathy for the people there, and it was a very powerful moment. Yeah,
I read your bio, and it said that you're no stranger to actually helping out. You're always going out helping others that are in need. What was it about this particular event that made you say, I'm going to do a movie?
Well, when I went there the first time, I didn't go there with the intention of really like, you know, doing anything more than taking a few pictures, helping people out, and like the only thing I brought was a stills camera and a GoPro, and half the time that would sit in a little bag, because you really, it's not, I don't find it to be a good idea to take pictures of people in the middle of a disaster when they're really suffering. So you really got to pick and choose when you do that. And for me, I really wanted to follow up, because like I said, I've never experienced that in my life. So like when I saw that, when I seen it in person, I was like, I really would love to find out what happened, you know, because you got like a lot of nonprofits that went over there and they stayed there for 2 years.
Wow. So you went back a year later.
We went back 2 years in a row.
2 years. Oh, okay.
We went back on the anniversary in 2014, November 8th, 2014, and then we went back in September of 2015, so not that long ago. And I also went back in July with the same nonprofit group.
Wow.
They're named, they're Team Rubicon. They're actually based in California. Okay. And they sent me back with a team of UK guys. Yeah. And we went to help rebuild a school.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. That's great.
Now, after the first year when you went back and the year after, how much improvement, or was there a lot of improvement?
The first year was kind of, I mean, it didn't have, I would say that hope it was not really like the theme of 2014. Like 2014, there was still a lot of broken structures, still a lot of people living in tents. You know, there was like, you know, maybe this much, you know, improvement after a year, which I found pretty rough.
Yeah, that is rough. But if you think about it, I mean, I hear that it was one of the biggest tropical storms that's ever hit land, right? So,
it took a long time.
Yeah,
it took a long
time. It's going to take a while, right?
Well, they had a lot of programs that had incentives for people to actually build back. So they had a program. I want to say it was Taiwanese monks that created this program. Wow. I don't know the name of the program. I can find it for you. But they would load up a truck, and they would pay people, right? So all their money would go towards paying people to rebuild their own neighborhoods. So like you would jump on a truck and you didn't know what neighborhood you go to, and they would rebuild that neighborhood. So everybody would make money doing it. So they were rebuilding the infrastructure doing it. I thought it was really a great idea.
Yeah, that is, and everybody from all over the world is helping.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, in your documentary, We Call Her Yolanda, you actually follow several people. Tell us a little bit more about.
So, well, the idea for the name in general is we, as in the Filipino people over there, call her, the storm, Yolanda, because over here, we call her Hayan.
Yeah, that's right.
So, like, you know, because we have our own side of the story, and over there, they have their own side of the story, the whole idea was, you know, to allow people on the ground to tell their story to people, you know, internationally. So the whole idea behind that was just, you know, going back and following people, everyday people. We have a coconut farmer. We have 2 different types of fishermen. You know, we have barangay captains or neighborhood officials. You know, we kept it really non-biased too. Like we allow people to speak their mind. We want them to speak their mind, but there's no bipartisan stuff. There's nothing about government, and there's nothing about for or against. It's really just the voice of the people.
Right. And then I heard that you wanted to focus on recovery.
Absolutely.
More than anything.
Especially, you know, like I said, a couple of our subjects, they're still living, they were still living in tents. You know, after 1 year, and in you know 100+ degree weather, sleeping in a tent with dust and all this stuff is just really bad for your health. So like we really wanted to see, you know, the recovery, you know, go 100%. And now actually, 2 years later, when we just went this last time, we took a stroll to the same village. Now they have jurisdiction on how close they build to the shore. Now they have to build with certain different building materials, and a lot of the stuff that they do is really like strong and I want to say reinforced because of what they've learned during the storm. So,
I'm sure there were so many people that you could have chosen for your documentary. How did you choose your subjects?
So that's a great question. So. There's a guy, his name is Alex Trinidad. He's actually one of the subjects. But he is really like, he's like a brother to me. We met each other when we worked with their nonprofit the very first time. We all slept in tents, you know, in a parking lot for 2 weeks. You know, you get to know people when that happens. So I got to know him real well. And we're kind of like brothers now, you know. We talk all the time. And I told him about this idea of coming back because I saw that he was involved with a couple nonprofits over there, like rebuilding houses for the people that lost everything. So I wanted to be a part of that. And like he more or less ended up becoming like the fulcrum of the whole thing. Like he helped us out so much. We basically, when we went back in 2014, we scouted these people. And we didn't walk around with a camera or nothing like that. We literally, it was very organic conversations. We started. We asked people if they were willing to share, and like we were upfront about everything we wanted to talk about. And like sometimes some of these people don't have cell phones, so like it would be like, hey, like can you meet me at that coconut tree at 3 o'clock? You know, and it was, you know, and that's exactly how it happened. Well, so it's building trust.
Exactly.
You know, and that's, you know, that's kind of how we built it.
I'm telling you, I cannot wait to see the film. I know you've submitted it to various film festivals. My fingers are crossed that it will hit all over.
I hope so. I so hope so.
But for more info, for now, where can we go?
We have our website, wecallheryolanda.com. We have the Twitter. I want to say it's at Yolanda Film. Facebook / We Call Her Yolanda. And and we have an Instagram, which I think is Yolanda_film.
Yes, and then your website you said was We Call Her Yolanda.
We Call Her Yolanda. Yeah, just the full name of the movie.com.
Thank you so much, Tony, for doing this documentary, for sharing our story. Again, for more information on We Call Her Yolanda, make sure to head to the website at wecallheryolanda.com. We'll be back.